the Gen Z of the UK are seriously not consuming that much alcohol. Like, it's shocking. It's even affecting business in London, just generally in England. What about the Gen Zs of Kenya? Are they consuming that much alcohol? Even for them, they're really not pro-alcohol. Maybe they use other things. What's the data like?
Well, what we have managed to gather is that, one, there is a lot of illicit alcohol consumption in this country.
Yeah, I saw the stats actually out about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, a lot of illicit alcohol in our villages, in towns, and all that. Back to the Gen Zs, there are so many products out there that they are consuming. Some that are extremely harmful. And what we are trying to do is to educate them on the dangers of these products and what effect these products can have on their future performance, neurological issues, and all that.
Right.
So the alcohol consumption in this country is majorly illicit alcohol, and the statistics are not there because this is locally produced and hidden in dens. But we are having quite a number of Gen Zs in rehab centers due to substance abuse, one of them being alcohol.
Okay. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Now, my brother on my left-hand side, maybe you can introduce yourself and let us know what role you play, because I also know you're part of the Harm Reduction Society of Kenya.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Okanga Nation.
Okay.
I'm a physician, gastroenterologist, and I'm also a treasurer, Harm Reduction Society of Kenya. Yes.
Well, I could ask, essentially, what is tobacco harm reduction, and where are we as a country regarding, the implementation of and adoption of, the strategies that you have?
So it's no doubt that tobacco is a dangerous product.
Yes.
And it causes various health complications. And the reason why people are still using it is because they are addicted.
Okay.
And they're addicted to nicotine. When they use the nicotine, when they use the tobacco, nicotine is distilled from the smoke, it goes to the brain. It gives them pleasure, and you cannot really prevent people from using something that they feel is pleasurable. So what you can do is probably reduce the harm from that particular product. And there's evidence that nicotine products are they have less harm compared to tobacco products.
Yeah.
So
that is where you are saying there are products that have less harmful effects. Yeah.
So what we are saying is that people smoke for the nicotine.
Okay.
They smoke because they want to get a nicotine high. But the tobacco, in addition to nicotine, has other harmful chemicals that is detrimental to their health. So if you can give them this nicotine in a different way, in a safer manner, then you are reducing the harm.
Okay. Less risk.
Yes, exactly.
Just to add, to give it a broader perspective, harm reduction is a concept that has been with us, in that these are intentional, pragmatic practices and policy-based public health issues. And just to give you an example, condom use is a harm reduction strategy.
It is.
Safety belts is a harm reduction strategy. A helmet is a harm reduction strategy. So when we say tobacco harm reduction, we are simply saying these are pragmatic practices and public health policies whose aim is to minimize the harm that would have otherwise afflicted the user of tobacco.
Correct.
By offering less harmful products.
And it brings us now to, of course, the day that's been being observed today, World Vape Day. Why exactly is it being observed, and what does it mean for Kenyans?
Yes, thank you. Let me just give a brief history. The first vape product, or what we call electronic cigarettes, was developed in China by a doctor pharmacist who was a chain smoker called Dr. Hon. That was way back in 2004. And he perfected the product because he really wanted to quit smoking.
Yeah.
But he tried so many modalities and he was not able to. So he came up with this concept. And the first electronic cigarette was produced by him way back in 2004, 2005. That is like 20 years ago.
Correct.
And throughout those 2 decades, a lot of science has been put into perfecting that product.
Right.
And minimizing the risks associated with tobacco. Remember, his main aim was to quit smoking, and
Correct.
indeed, it assisted him a lot.
It assisted him in quitting.
It assisted him a
Interesting.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we are seeing the adoption of such all the way even in the UK. Just the other day, they launched a campaign called Swap to Stop.
Swap to Stop.
Yeah, whereby they are giving 1 million of their smokers an electronic cigarette.
Are you serious?
So that they can swap it with their tobacco cigarettes.
That's a very
Simply
interesting term.
because they have done a lot of research. 10 years ago in 2015, the then Public Health England did tremendous research and found that electronic cigarettes are 95% safer
What?
than smoked
I want to
cigarettes.
jump in there for a second. This is shocking.
It is.
That is science.
Because many people are usually like, man, you're vaping, pana, it's
horrible.
crazy, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
You'd rather even go and smoke marijuana. You know, I've actually had people say that. Because, you know, it just feels like there's a lot of chemicals associated with it, the way it's packaged, the refill, and it's, you know, I actually know people who, they're associated, like they feel like it's similar to shisha smoking as well, right? So what you're telling us, as you continue, by the way, sorry to jump in there, there isn't pretty much that much health risks. 95% safer.
Of course, there is a 5% health risk. Any product has a risk. What I would clearly want to state is that unlike the UK, the vaping products in this part of the world are not regulated, which is a very big concern.
Correct.
Because we are finding most of these e-cigarettes with very high nicotine content, which is lethal. They mix it with other products that are not safe. Unlike the UK market, where the electronic cigarettes are highly regulated, and when the UK government stands to say that we are swapping your cigarette to this vape. Walk into this center, enroll, we will give you a medical vape or a regularized e-cigarette to assist you to quit smoking. Remember, the end game is to assist
quit.
This smoker.
Quit. So eventually you're probably going to end up quitting.
Yes, that's the whole end game.
Okay,
that's
interesting.
To try and assist their smokers. Because the burden of disease is tremendously high. Remember, 8 million people in the world are dying out of smoking-related illnesses.
Exactly.
12,000 Kenyans. And I need to point that a cigarette is the only product which, if used correctly, will kill you.
If used correctly.
You're so funny. Dr. Kanga, so what are the vaping trends in the country so far?
The challenge we have, as my colleague has alluded, is regulation. And without regulation, then sometimes you cannot get adequate data. What we are saying is that the vaping products in this country, they are... people are contaminating them with other things. We don't know what people are vaping actually. They could be using hard drugs in them.
I can imagine.
Marijuana is also mixed there. So you cannot really be sure what someone is taking.
So it's confirmed that people actually mix stuff. They put stuff inside.
Exactly.
To give you like a rush, to make you high.
Absolutely. Just to add, that people are mixing all sorts of stuff, especially with the e-liquid refills. I mean, we don't even know what is in these products. And another very big concern is these products are being sold by anybody. They can be sold to children, which is extremely alarming. Some of them are very appealing, to children. And what we are trying to say as we commemorate these days, we need regulation of these products. I'm happy to say that we, as a society, have participated in the Tobacco Control Amendment Bill 2024. And as we speak, it has been deferred in the Senate. And when we inquired why has this bill been deferred, we found out that the Ministry of Health was yet to submit additional amendments. And what we are calling upon the Ministry of Health, it's high time. We speed up with those amendments and have this bill passed into law. So that we protect our minors. And even as we commemorate this day of World Vape Day, one of the key tenets of the day is to regulate the sector.
Totally.
So that we protect our children.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask Dr. Okanga on the same, point where we are seeing that Kenya is currently considering amendments in the Tobacco Control Act, and maybe just to pick your mind, as your colleague has left us.
Oh, yeah. So the Tobacco Control Bill.
Yes.
It's a nice bill. It's we actually welcome it, and because when you read it, there are recommendations on, for example, that e-liquid, how much ml should a canister contain, and what concentration. There are also recommendations on flavoring. They prohibit use of flavors, which can be a plus or minus depending on how you look at it. But it's good we have this discussion so that of course the first bill might not be perfect, but it has to come. We see where the shortcomings
and build on it,
and then build on it, improve on it.
But with vaping now in the country, it's becoming it's rife. It's in our communities. Is it actually helping Kenyans quit smoking, or is it introducing a new generation to nicotine addiction?
Again, I think there are two ways to look at it. When you look at what are the factors that drive people to smoke, you find that the people who are more likely to smoke are people who have probably maybe had a childhood, people who have problems in school, for example. A lot of peer pressure. You also find that people who have rebellious attitude, among the youths, those are the ones who are likely to smoke. Now, if you have a vape, for example, it's in the country, and people are using it. One argument is that the people who are using vapes are people who would have actually smoked anyway. So if you look at it that way, then probably you are giving them a reduced risk product, which might be a good thing. But again, the other side of the coin is that it might appear appealing to some people, and therefore
it's a bit glamorous, I would say. A vape is people who vape are considered very cool.
Exactly.
I've actually seen even people vape at work. So let me ask you: is it like people vape at the same time they actually buy cigarettes, or is it like do they replace the cigarettes with the vape? What's going on? In most cases.
Is one the alternative of the other? Or
exactly.
Can I be
or do they do it
both?
at the same time? Like he has a pack on this side, at the same time he has a vape this side.
Yes, that is called dual use, which in the scientific community is highly discouraged. And what we, as scientists and doctors, we are saying that tobacco has more than 6,000 compounds that can cause cancer. And as Professor Michael Russell, who is the pioneer and father of tobacco harm reduction, used to say, people smoke for the nicotine, but die from the tar.
Wow.
In the cigarettes.
Right.
And we are discouraging use of cigarettes completely.
Yes.
And because of the extremely risks, very many risks associated with the tobacco smoke. Dual use is not acceptable simply because you are exposing yourself to the same tobacco that you are running away from. And back to the bill, as the regulation comes into effect, it simply means that the products that will be coming over will be scientifically tested as per the bill. The concentration, as my colleague has said, will be regulated. We have some vapes here that have 100 milligrams per mil of nicotine, which is lethal.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
extremely
Yeah.
lethal.
Yeah.
And we welcome those regulations so that we have these safer alternatives
Okay.
to tobacco
All right.
smoke.
Hold it right there. That is Dr. Kariuki Michael. He's the Secretary General of Harm Reduction Society of Kenya, also a founder member. Also, we have the one and only on my left hand side, Dr. Okanga. He's from Harm Reduction Society of Kenya. We're talking all things World Vape Day 2025, and the theme is 20 years of facts. Right now, 5:33. We'll be back in just a bit. I've got some Sly Fox with Tell Me What's Your 20 Kazi.
The Spice Drive, spicing up your drive.